Hey guys, how you doing? Accountability King greetings, wishing everyone positivity. You're a new face, buddy. Glad you're here, glad you're with us. What? Good afternoon. I've been sat on my computer for a while, so I thought I'd hook in a little bit earlier. So hope everyone is well. Done all your Christmas shopping, everything's wrapped, everything's delivered. That's not me, incidentally. We're a bit behind this year. Christmas is coming up quick though. What is it, a week away? Let me have a look on my phone. Yeah, Christmas Eve, 10 days today. Wow. It's moving quick. I love Christmas. The only thing I hate about Christmas is you can't trade. So that's the one downside about Christmas if you enjoy trading. So, started the PA account yesterday. Had a good day up, a little over $1,000, so that was a really good start. I had to shorten my day a little bit yesterday. I had some things to take care of. So I think I did about an hour and hour and 40 minutes, something like that. So hopefully day two. Where are you going to stop? When are you going to stop? Leading up to Christmas. To be honest with you, mate, I don't know. I can't remember what they did last year. I would have said, let me have a look on my calendar. I would have said somewhere in the region of mid to the end of next week. Let me have a look. Okay, so Monday is the 19th. Friday is the 23rd. So I'm guessing I would say somewhere around maybe the 22nd, probably half day. I would have thought Friday. I'm not too sure, but I'm guessing that sort of time, I'd say. So we've probably got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then it'll be back in on the 3rd. So what have we got off Thursday? So we got 1 week. So we got, just over a week and a half, I think. A couple of days under. I did try doing bits of trading because I think the market's open part of it, but it just, the volume wasn't there. It was just like watching paint dry. So. And it does make things a little bit more unstable and trading a bit harder. The bars are a bit bigger, so I think the best thing to do is just take the break and enjoy it, and then come back ready for New Year in the New Year. So I'd say probably Thursday next week, so week tomorrow, something like that. We'll probably find out a little bit more information off Mac. Mac usually tells us what's likely to happen. You're right, Fife. How you doing, bud? What was just asking about when we. Oh, excuse me a second, guys. Sorry, guys. Daughter's going out for a minute. Okay. So, yeah, when's the markets? I'm not sure when the markets. I do have a printout and which I laminate, and it gives me all the CME holiday dates. But we'll hear from Mac. But I'm guessing it's probably going to be Thursday. Probably Thursday, half day Friday, something like that. So we've got some news today, but it's this evening on my chart, 7 o'clock this evening. So we'll be done and dusted by then, I think. So that won't come into it. So okay. So far, morning, bud. Is that how you say? Is it Nicola? Is it Nicola or Nicola? You're gonna have to correct me, otherwise I don't want to be calling you Nicola. Or is it Nicola? You have to tell me. Is it Nicola, say type 1, or Nicola type 2? Let's see if I can get it right. Nicola 1, Nicola type 2. Okay. So yeah, we've opened here, and we've so far it seems to be ranging, but there does seem to be possibly. Okay, that looks. So I'm expecting markets to sort of possibly go down. Morning R. if I look at the daily we've obviously got generally a downtrend, but we did have that massive spike up yesterday with the news, and that's give us that big candle. So I mean, having said that, it can move like a couple of millimeters here, and that could be a whole day's worth of movement on the 2000 tick chart, but it does look like something's slowly on the downside. So that's on the daily. And the 10,000 tick. Hey Keithy, how you doing, buddy? 10,000 tick. That's sort of looking the same, a little bit bearish. Push up. So we're sort of like dipping down. So we'll have to keep an eye. So that might give us an idea what it might do today. It's the French President Nicolas Sarkozy, isn't it? Nicolas. It is Nicholas, isn't it? Nicholas. Yeah. Okay. That's made it easier. Excellent. Nicholas. Okay. Okay. So market opens in less than a minute. It's the French president. Okay. Should we just call you Sir? Shall we? Have an easy one. Okay. So morning Nikolai. Morning Keithy. 5 around morning 5. Are we alright calling you 5, or have you got a first name? Some people don't like giving it out, do you? I don't mind. My name's Lance. So Jaco, how you doing, bud? Okay, so had a good day yesterday. Excellent day. $1,000. Did 2 trades. Swung them a little bit down. Sort of knew they were going to go down a bit. If I'd have had the balls to hold on a little bit longer, I could have got a bit more. But that's as good a day as you're going to get on your first day. So I was quite pleased with that. First day is always a little bit nerve-wracking. So if you can get market's just open. So if you can get a nice start, that makes you feel good. So okay, so possibly see where this ends. There's possibly a downtrend here, but it has sort of bounced in the same place. So likely an uptrend as well, a range as well at the moment. So let's see what happens here. We may get rid of this. Okay, let's bin that for now. Okay, so far we look like we're ranging. Okay, so yeah, we got some news, but that's not till later, so that's not going to affect us. Brant, how you doing, bud? We typically range before FOMC. Yeah, FOMC is in about 5 hours, isn't it? 4.5 hours, maybe, something like that. Hopefully we'll be done and dusted by then. But that's okay. I don't mind range days. I don't mind them. I didn't like them at first, but hopefully if they're bouncing in similar places. But look what happened yesterday. We had that massive big push up, didn't we? And then we just sort of recovered it all and ended up we did move up a bit before the news, and then we obviously had that big spike came down, and we sort of finished. The market closed roughly around the same place we were before it spiked up. So okay, so that's a new low. That's a first entry. Hey Luca, how you doing, buddy? Seen some nice regular faces here now. It's quite nice to get to know people. Once you get, I think once you get too many, it tends to be you just tend to lose track of people. So it's nice to find out people who they are, what they're doing, where they are. So let's have a look here. Okay, that might possibly be. So that was a first entry, wasn't it? The trouble is getting into something here. I mean, this range went up high, but it could. I wouldn't be shocked if it finished around about there, because we came down, pushed up and touched this area, and we've done it again. So and that is a bit of an overshoot, so I wouldn't be surprised if the top of the range finished there. Another range day, yeah. I don't mind them so much now. I mean, we did quite have a nice trend yesterday. It's unfortunate I had to go a bit early and do some family things, but I noticed I looked on Marco's chart last night, and there was quite a lot of entries and relatively straightforward entries. So, but I'm happy with yesterday. I started nicely, so I could sort my day out without thinking about trying to get back to make some money. So. Let's, in fact, we'll keep that. I know some people get rid of this. I kind of like it because on the rare occasion, if I think market's going to drop and I can't grab hold of it with an order, it keeps knocking me out. Rather than going up here and getting a limit, I just click the sell. I don't often use it, but I like the fact that it's there if I need to. I've not heard any details about the FOMC tonight, about what they're expecting. The bias is bearish. Maybe range and bounce it, yeah. Well, if I'm looking at the daily at the moment, we've been coming down here now since about beginning of the year by the looks of things. And every time we've hit this, we start to move down, and we did hit it. We broke above it with that great big strong push yesterday with the news, and then we finished really bearish. So I don't know, we may go up a tiny touch more, but I'm certainly thinking bearish. I think the overall is possibly going to be bearish. Yesterday was nice outside reversal day, which developed into a nice downtrend. Yeah, it was quite nice. To what little trading I did yesterday, it was quite nice. It is nice when you get a nice trend. I've got to say that's one of the beauties about trading currency. You can just find a weak currency against a strong one, and presto, you've got a trend. With FOMC meet, whatever the news, I suspect more downward action. Yeah, I don't think bad news over with yet. We're still struggling a bit, aren't we? Interest rates are still high. And no real sign of them dropping, I don't think. I know energy prices are sky high. There's probably going to be a lot of people finding it tough this winter. I know fortunately in the UK at the moment we have this winter payment which we're getting, I believe, for the next 6 months, which give us about £65 every month from the government towards the bills. But I've got to say my electric and gas bill hasn't gone up as high as I was expecting. It's maybe gone up sort of 40%, something like that. So it's not quite as high as I was expecting. So but yeah, I think things are going to be struggling for a while. December. Well, the year's gone quick. Okay, so we're coming up here. Risky, I think, short in here with only sort of one one real touch. But what I might do is maybe look for a lower high or something like that back into this range. So I'm just going to pull this out of the way a bit. Might be a range, might not. Looks like a range, a trend channel. It's holding on the top, so I'll leave that there. But how's everyone's charts looking today? Different from mine again? Or similar? I haven't right clicked and I haven't done my reload yet. I'm going to wait for, see what happens here before I do that. Thing I like about ranges is now and again, if you take a short up here, and I've done it a few times in the past, you can literally ride it down to here. I think I got 24 points and 18 points in the same day. 24 points going down, and then 18 points on something I can't remember what it was later. So sometimes with these range days, you know, as long as it bounces roughly in the same place, you can almost ride them back to the other side. Same chart, good. Yeah, sometimes it varies, but other times, Alejandro, yeah, different. I don't know why I've had the same configuration. Yeah, it is what it is, mate. I think the question's been asked many times. I know when Mac answered my email about it probably a year ago, I got the impression he was bored with the question. I think he'd had it many times, so. Yeah, you just got to trade it as it is. So your setup, you got to take it. So we've come up here. We haven't come up as high as we did previously, but we're close to the top. So I'm looking for a possible a lower high. Can't trade that really, as tempting as it is. Mine is different too. I have 4061. What's your name? Itamar, is that correct? Itamar? You're a new face. Itamar. The price will change a little because YouTube have around 3 seconds. In fact, I think it's more than 3 seconds. Because if I mark something on this, let me mark it on this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11. Yeah, there's about 11 seconds there, I've noticed. I thought it was a bit more than that, but I have changed something called the latency, which is supposed to speed it up a little bit. I can't see it at the moment, but I will look into that because I don't see why it has to be so far behind. 16 seconds, if I compare. Yeah, it's somewhere around there, isn't it? It's somewhere around there. Okay, we sort of have had a hidden second entry along there, but it's a bit bunched together, isn't it? Makes me question my entry when I have something, but you don't. Say an entry that looks good on your chart and it doesn't look as good on my chart doesn't mean it's not going to work. It's still going to work. I mean, if you've got a second entry long and it's a great signal bar and I've got a second entry long but it's not a good signal bar, it doesn't mean on my chart it can't go up, because it obviously does. So, you know, if you see a good signal bar, you take it, and chances are it'll be a winning trade. If I see a poor signal bar, but someone else has got it, chances are it's a winning trade. It's just not a trade that I can take. So, It obviously works. Many people use this, and if there was any real issues, it would have been highlighted by now. So it is what it is. I think it's highly likely going to be exactly the same. Whoever trades it, whether you've got the the big institutional guys, it's always going to be a bit different. It makes sense that it is. Yes, but there again, bud, you're going to have setups. It's what I'm talking to now. You're going to have setups which look good on your chart, and you take, and I end up missing them. So some you're going to get, some I'm going to get. It swings around about. It's all going to work out the same. I think it's all going to work out even. If you see a good trade, you're going to take it. If it's not a good setup, you're not anyway. So you're not being lulled into something that doesn't look good. So we've come up here. We've broken up this little channel, and we've had a couple of pushes up to a new high. We've come back down to the EMA. We've had another push up. So let's see what happens here. But I'm thinking down at the moment, because I think it's down anyway. But obviously we're at the top of the range, so I'm guessing it's going to be down here. But I want something else. Maybe a failure below here, possibly. If we can get a failure, then we've had a new high plus 2 pushes. Usually that's what they call a failure, because it'll fail then. Traders like to try. I suppose it's like everything in life, isn't it? We try it. If it doesn't work, we might try it another couple of times, and then we'll give up. Your chart never reached 4065. 4065. 4065. Your chart never reached there. Are you definitely? Look at the top of my chart. You've definitely got the ES 0323, third 23 in the 2000 tick. Just check that, because that's quite a difference. That is. If yours never went higher than that, I'd say there's something not right with your chart. So just have a check that. If that's as high as you got, if you didn't hit any of that at the top, check your chart. What contract am I on? Me. When you say, Keith, what do you mean? What contract? How many contracts am I trading? Is that what you mean? What contract am I on? Prices should be the same, just bars. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean the bars might vary. A bearish bar will usually look like a bearish bar, but some will look like that, and on other charts it might look like that. So that's a bearish pin bar. That's a full bearish, but they're both bearish. Okay, so that's possibly a failure. That is. The only bit that's making me nervous is a little bit sideways, but I don't think it's a bad trade. It's a little bit like that, but usually when it comes in and goes sideways, it comes out. But that's making me a bit nervous because we're going sideways there. I wouldn't be shocked if that came out and went a little bit higher up here. But I miss 0323. Yeah, you just might not have rolled over, mind you. But if you hadn't have rolled over by now, I guess you've hardly got any of this. You might only have a third of the volume we've got. I was meaning. Oh, sorry. My apologies. Okay, so if you had have gone short there, you'd have been stopped out because we had a new high. Trying to go once, trying to go twice. Technically, that was a failure, a little bit below, but it's sideways, so that's what makes me nervous. So I hope anybody didn't take that. Getting a little bit sideways now. I'm still thinking down, but we may come up and pip this to the top of this range. That's possible. So Itamar, you sorted now, are you? Everything okay for you? Okay, it does look to me like we're going to get a little bit closer to here, I think, personally. Just by the way that bullish bar is sitting above there, we've come down to it and we've finished on top of it. So that tells me that we haven't finished trying to get up yet, but I might be wrong. Get in there. Okay, big bearish bar. There's no setup there. First entry. Sorry. New high, first entry, second entry, third entry, fourth entry. There's nothing there really. I just still don't like the way it's sideways there. It's risky in my opinion. I think there's a good chance it's going to come down, but it's just a risky trade really. But there may be some longs stuck in that trade, so if it does push down below here, that might be the thing that pushes it down. I don't know, but yeah, I hope anybody isn't in this trade, because that's it's triggered, and that there is a second entry long, so there's going to be some longs in there, so that could be a double trap. Now if it manages to come down and traps these longs, there may be some longs in there, but I think there's going to be some shorts in there, so we'll see what happens. Remember I said I think we haven't finished coming up the top. If there's some shorts stuck in there, their stops are likely going to be above this one, so if it pushes above here, which it had, then I think we're going to get up the top here. Then I think we're going to get higher than this. Market makers up to their games. Yeah, okay, yeah, we have. It's that bar there that told me we came down and we went sideways, and usually it's the bar most bullish on an uptrend, which is that one, which tells me then we're likely to get higher. And obviously the May still pointed up, so this wasn't high enough for me to get involved going short really. I was expecting it to come to the top. And then obviously when this one triggered and it started to go up, I thought that was going to be the final push. Once we get above here, any stops, if there's anybody in that trade, their stops are going to be above there, which is going to then give that the momentum to the top, which it did. So if I take that a tiny little bit there we go. Touches perfectly there, touches perfectly there, touches perfectly there. You went long 4065. Okay, so you got something like that, didn't you? Just scalped out. Good on you. Yeah, I think the only trouble is I was expecting it to come up here, so you quite likely were yourself. And like I say, that was a second entry long, and the EMA is the only thing that makes me nervous about that is because it's close to the top, and it is sideways a little bit. So I'm expecting it to go down, but that bar there gave me the impression then that we were going to slowly work up and retest these highs. You skipped it. It's a bit big, yeah. It was a riskier trade, but if you're only going for a point or two, then you don't mind taking the risk. So okay, so that's. Let's see what's happening here then. So I'm guessing this, hopefully, is a failed breakout, but I'm not a fan of the way it's doing this, which tells me it could do this, so that just makes me a little bit more cautious, but as it's only touched it once really before, triple test, yeah, I think it's likely it's going to come back, but I have all these little points in my head where I become a little cautious. If we've been up here somewhere in the middle and we've gone up again, then I would probably treat that, not that there's really an entry there anyway, I would probably treat that as a failed breakout. Because I'm thinking, well, the more I think about it, actually, I'm thinking that, well, just by looking at the daily, the market's bearish at the moment. We know news isn't fantastic at the moment. So if we can get a lower high here, then I'm interested then to come short, because we've failed to break out. So if we can come down here, maybe push through the EMA, and we'll have a another attempt to go higher, then I'm thinking maybe down here somewhere. Okay, so we have had another push high. Let's have a look. The only thing that makes me nervous is it's still above the EMA. Failed breakout inbound. Yeah. Let's get one ready. The only trouble is, see how we've had this push up? It's always possible that could happen again. We may be in a small up range. You just don't know yet. An uptrend. It's hard to say, but it does make me nervous going short when the EMA is pointing upwards. Okay, the fact that that's ended like that is telling me we may go higher than this. So that's what I'm thinking. Whether it will or not, I don't know. Yeah, it's higher than that. See, so if you'd have been in that trade, or not that there's a setup there. See what I mean about the that push up there, and I think market is slowly moving, isn't it? It's hard to say. We had that breakout, what we call a failed breakout, didn't we? It came back, not by far, before it went out again. So I'm going to cancel that. I'll break out or not. Yeah, you just it's too early really since the market opened to tell where we are. We could have, we've opened here with a bit of push, we come down. We might slowly be working an uptrend followed by the odd pullback. I'm not, convinced we're in a range at the moment, but we haven't really had enough tests to the top to tell us. We've tested the bottom a couple of times, but this is only really our second test. You have a larger channel going from 4044, so you're down here, are you? Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm not convinced that we're not in an uptrend. Let's have a look at that. Okay, yeah, okay, that looks okay to me. Let's get rid of that. This possibly could be coming up here, so I'm just going to pull that aside just to make things a bit clear. And we'll zoom in a bit. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I'd say at the moment yeah, I think that looks okay to me. We're in an uptrend. So that's why, even if we had something bearish there, I'm not confident enough to take that unless we came down and had a lower high, which then would tell me we might be coming down. Not convinced it's a range, not convinced it's an uptrend. Yeah, it is a bit too early to tell really, isn't it? This could be a couple of pushes out before it comes back. It's hard to say, but this does look like a channel. We shall see. But it is stalling a little bit up here. Yeah, just really that push up that made me think perhaps we could go higher. $10,000 tick chart. Yeah, if you look on the 10,000 tick chart, actually, it does look like we're moving up a bit up here, doesn't it? Which will probably bring that into play, and then I'd expect something maybe down. I like bringing this up just because sometimes it gives you an idea of where the market's been since sort of early evening yesterday. Up, we're down. Every time we come up, we're going higher and higher. So if we're thinking we're working our way to the tops here, that would make sense, wouldn't it? Okay, so I think it's fair to say that things look like we're moving up at the moment. So okay, so that is a second entry short. second entry short, but it's risky because I don't think we've finished pushing higher yet. And like I've said to you before, I've given up trying to pick tops. It doesn't look like it's going to finish bearish anyway, but you've got to be so careful then, because there's nothing else really that, you know, there's no other resistance up here that could slow that down. Although there is a little bit, yeah, yesterday, so maybe it will. Now I'd say we're going up. Yeah, there was a lot of sellers in there, but the buyers pushed it right back up. And I noticed the other day I saw a pattern of 3 of these, and then after that it just went up. It went. So I have uptrend drawn from the lows of yesterday. I tend to not do that so much. 10,000 tick chart. Yeah, that's what I just brought in a minute ago. So the lows of yesterday's was there. Well, no, technically it wasn't, was it? There, really. I'm assuming you mean from there on the 10,000 tick chart, which, I mean, that is a channel, isn't it? So it does look like it may finish there, or it may go on a bit more. It's hard to tell, but I think we're probably coming towards the top. Maybe that's it. I don't like picking tops, but it looks like we may get a trip back to here. We've had that push out, we've had a break, we've had 2 pushes up, new high, big bearish bar, risky. Risky at the moment. Yeah, if anyone was in there, which I don't think there was many, judging by how quick it came back down, but certainly a bit of volume going in and out of here quickly. I think it may make a quick movement in either direction in a minute. Yeah, sometimes when we push in, we go sideways, we tend to come out the opposite angle, which we did here. We came up, went sideways, came up again. It's just a way of slowing down that momentum. We've had a quick sharp push up there, see? I still think we may drop out the bottom here and then up towards the top here. I still think there's a good chance we're going to come up to here. Yeah, I think we're going to drop down to here and then push up. That's my prediction. Just looking for a setup. There isn't really, is there? I suppose you could class that as a hidden second entry long. I suppose it is, isn't it? See how this bar ends. I don't know what that looks like on anybody else's chart. The only thing is, on the 10,000 tick chart, it looks to me like we've hit the top and we're slowly coming down, so that's probably going to make me sit tight, I think. It is a... I'm tempted. I do expect it to come up to here, and that is a hidden second entry long. It's not quite as bearish as I'd like it. If we can get a higher high, okay, that would have worked. I just don't quite like the way it's sat. Mind you, what I should have thought is, on some charts that's probably going to look quite bullish. I did say it was going to go sideways, come back to the EMA and then push up. I'm expecting it to get up here somewhere, and it just wasn't quite. We've still got this, see, but we did break out. Most breakouts fail. I am expecting it to go up, but it just didn't like the way that we had that little bit of a stem. What did it give us? 3 points. Yeah, if you'd have had it, I'll get 3 points. If I'd have taken that, I'd have probably come out just above here, but it's only got 2 points. Still think we're coming up a bit higher. Anybody take that? It was a hidden second entry long, but on my chart it just wasn't as bullish as I'd like it. You'd have got 3 points. I think it went up to about 3 1/4, so you'd have got 3 points out of it. Your signal bar was a whole length of the small range, no setup. Yeah, same. I don't think it was a terrible trade, but I mean, it is common if you look at this type of movement where you get a move up sideways. It's quite often, especially if there's an uptrend, move by another push up. Same here, we've had a push ups and sideways, another push up, but often before it pushes up, it'll drop down to the EMA, which it did here. It pushed up, went sideways, dropped down a couple of times the EMA, then it took off. So I'm expecting it to get up here. My An was 5 points. My An was 5 points. I'm assuming, did you get 5 points there, bud? ILO was tempting, but right into the highs. Yeah, that's what I mean. If I'd have taken this, I'd have had to put my profit around here. I was expecting it to come up here. But I had this impression of the day being bearish, so I'm just a little bit. It just wasn't as. But if that had been, if come down to it, if the bottom of the body had finished here and the top of it finished here, I'd have taken that. But I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked if it came down a little bit further, and then pushed up. So we've had two nice pushes up there. We'll see what happens. I'm still expecting it to reach here or close to. Any of you guys had a payment from Apex yet, by any chance? Okay, let's see. I think we're about 2 points off it thereabouts. That finishes bearish. Still eval, yeah. Highlights and the rest of it. Hey, how you doing, Kim? How you doing, Kim? Are you as cold as we're in the UK? You probably. Oh, you've had a payment. Oh, nice one. Everything go through all right? Let me ask you a quick question. Did you have it go into a normal bank account? Because I was aware if it goes into a normal UK bank account, obviously the bank will exchange the funds from dollars to pounds. Now, I know when I've put money into Ninja Trader and it's converted from pounds to dollars, they take about 2 or 3%, which doesn't sound a lot, but if you're talking a few £1,000s, it can be quite pricey. Nothing to write. You got. I have been taking around about 1,000. I got to, yeah. It's nice to finally actually enter Revolut. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I got in front of me, my Revolut card. And I'm assuming that it's paid in dollars, and then you can just convert it for free of charge, I think. Because I know 3%. I mean, if you were sort of withdrawing, say 10,000, 6 months down the line, that's £300 you could be potentially paying. Yeah, I've got my deal. That's it. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, I've got a deal opened, and I've got my Revolut card here. It's probably easy to transfer it in dollars, isn't it? And then you just transfer it free of charge. Yeah, I've got the actual metal Revolut one, and I believe you get unlimited exchange transfers for free of charge. So, but before deal came along, you'd probably pay 3% on £10,000. That's £200. It's quite a chunk of change, really, to lose. Sorry, Kim. No trades yet today. That's nothing for us. No. I did look at this one, but it was around. I don't know. It was just. I thought we were going to maybe finish here, but it carried on. Transfer dollar. Yeah, that's fine. Technology getting better now. We've got a few online banks now. I tend to use. Well, I keep the Revolut, which I plan to use this for trading. But we have what's that big bright orange card? The thing, Monzo. We got one of those. You just get so many better deals with them, really, than banks. The banking system's the biggest con known to man, isn't it? They have millions. Rate, not fee. What do you mean rate, not fee? Not free, you mean? Yeah, transfer in dollars. Yeah, so they put it in your deal account in dollars. Monzo is my main. Yeah, that's what we use now for current me and my wife. But I got the Revolut one as soon as I looked at the system with Deal that they pay into Revolut. So I believe it gets paid into dollars into my Revolut account. I can get it transferred from Deal into my Revolut account in dollars, and then just do a currency exchange in my Revolut account free of charge, I believe. Sorry if you can hear howling in the background. That's one of my little dogs. Yeah, the Monza car's nice and bright, isn't it? You won't lose that, will you? Oh dear. Sorry, my dogs are howling. My daughter's just gone out. Okay, so we're slowly getting up to our target, aren't we? But it is losing a bit of momentum. Yeah, 100% brilliant. Yeah, excellent. Well, my plan is, I've always got to have a plan. So my plan is to get to $7,000 and then take a payment of $2,000. That's the plan. And then I'll take it from there. That's. I feel confident this time. Things are going nice and smooth. I think I've got my the sort of psychological side in a better place than it was. I've had 7-8 good days, good green days. I'm only taking good trades, so I seem to be in a better place now. And I've got to say, I think the majority of it is down to streaming. It does make you think about things a bit more, and just the fact that I'm talking through trades and I'm hearing what I'm saying rather than thinking about it. You tend to hear things a little bit clearer and make better decisions. So the theory goes. Okay, so it is losing a bit of momentum here, but let's have a look at the day. So yeah, see, although it's definitely a trend, it's not a very wide one. So sometimes when you have these pushes, you have that sort of a downtrend correction somewhere around about here, and then another one. And then when you sort of sew them all up together, they turn into an overall big trend. So actually, let's scrub that. Kim, how's the market looking today? Sorry, but I'm on the metro on my way from work and hard to see on my phone. It's not looking too bad so far. We've had this. We've opened. We've had a little push up. We've worked our way down, and then we're slowly moving up in this trend. But I think it's running out of momentum. So, I take it you're going to trade when you get home, Kim, are you? Yesterday was quite good though. Although I didn't trade a lot of the day. What I did trade, when I looked at it later, it looked good. Nothing's happened until after 2 p.m. That would be 2 p.m. your time. We're 6 hours ahead of you there. But it looks like we're going to hit our target here, I think. Slow up trend with few setups, yeah. I mean, you could have, I dare say there was going to be some who took that. There may have been some shorts in there, see, but to me that was, as we had that push up and that side was moving, I was expecting another push up. So when we broke below the this range, like they say, most breakouts fail, and it came down. If you notice, it came down right where it looked good, and I think that was probably a good trade actually. And I wouldn't be shocked if Mac or Marco marked that one. That one is riskier. It is a hidden second entry long, but I just don't like the way that stem finished, and I wasn't convinced it wasn't going to come up and come down a little bit further before we moved up a bit higher. Morning, Osam, how you doing? Kim, you're impatient, aren't you? You can't wait to get home. You're getting all excited. I do, I've got to say, I do love trading. I love the challenge of it. I get a bit of a buzz thinking about it, I've got to say. That's not the target. This one up here. Okay, what's your predictions? You're usually our predictive expert. Where are we going, you think? It is losing momentum, isn't it? So 4083. Let's put oh, sums in that. I'll tell you what. Let's put 2 in it. 4083. Okay, so that's 2.5, isn't it? So we'll put yours around about there. And ours got one as well, 4081, which I think not quite hit yet, which is probably 4081. That's probably about there. Apple Sam. Now you're talking in fractions, aren't you? 4083.5. It's like one of those game quizzes, isn't it? Who gets the closest? So yours is 4083.5. Okay, so 4083.3.5. So you're probably there, aren't you? Okay. Okay, we'll see who gets closest. Brands. I think this uptrend is mainly fueled by retail traders, quite possibly, yeah. Waiting for it to peter out. Yeah, it is looking like it's losing a bit of momentum, isn't it? And dump back into the range. Don't think institutions have any interest in prices moving into the FOMC yet. It's definitely losing momentum, isn't it? And then, yeah, I can't see anywhere else it would go bar back into this range. I mean, like I said a while ago, sometimes we'll do that. We'll come down in a channel to here and then maybe try again. See who's going to be closest. I mean, there's a target where you mark. I'm sorry. Apple Sam, are you a new face? I think you are, aren't you? Where are you from, buddy? Apple Sam. Okay, look at that. We hit that. That's down to the nearest tick, that is. Weird, isn't it? It's ironic how it finishes. Look at that. Let me just check I've got everything drawn right here. That's there. That's there. Is that right? Yeah, I'd say we're one tick off it there, which is close enough, isn't it? Oh, you're Florida. Excellent. I'm assuming you're warmer than we are here in the UK. Okay, I think that's your lot, folks. It's gone up one tick, which is sort of where we thought it would go. And I'd say this is maybe the start of... Let me make a prediction of something on the lines of that. Somewhere around there I'm making a prediction of. Florida. Let me think. Florida. That's the East Coast, isn't it? Yeah, it's down. Yeah, it's the East Coast, isn't it? It's Southeast Coast. Before you hit the Caribbean, isn't it? Down that way. I've been to Cuba. That's the closest I've been there. If I'm just trying to think now. So you got New York on the East Coast. You keep going south. You're right down there, aren't you? Right down the bottom there, near the Keys, I think. This is my prediction. Possibly retest, maybe. This is what I think. East Coast, yeah, East Coast. you tend to catch a lot of the bad weather, don't you? The hurricanes and that from around the Caribbean, around there, don't you? I got to say, I don't know how you Americans do it. You have hurricanes, you have tornadoes. We don't get nothing here in the UK, nothing. Bad storm is nothing over here. We just don't get nothing, really. No earthquakes. Well, we had a couple of earth tremors in the last 30 years, but nothing to write home about. We don't get bad weather. We don't have any poisonous snakes. We don't have any poisonous spiders. We're spoilt over here. Good balance of weather. A lot of people do say they love the UK's weather because we do have a good balance of hot and cold. Second range to fade overnight highs. Let's see if we can go back to the range. I think it's likely, isn't it? Don't you guys have dragons? Not anymore. They've all been killed. Poisonous politicians. We've got plenty of them. Are you a Remain or are you Fife? Are you for United? Are you for Independent Scotland? I don't know actually. It's I don't think it's a question for us. I think it's up to you guys, isn't it? If you want your own, then go for it. Yeah, Hurricane Ian. Don't you name them after women, surely? Independent Scotland for me, yeah. I don't see why you can't. I wonder if you'll get another vote. Indy, Scotland and EU for me. Yeah, I was a bit on the fence about the EU. The trouble is, unless you're sort of really interested in politics, and the trouble is, sometimes we've all got our own lives, haven't we? We've got our own jobs, our own lives, and it's sometimes hard to look out the box, isn't it? But I've got a little bit more interested in politics over the years. But I just, when someone says you can vote, and I'm thinking, I don't know sod all about politics, I don't know this, I don't know that, and they're asking me to vote. So many people turn up, they haven't got a clue what they're talking about, but they still put a tick in the box. I don't know. I am more interested in politics as I get older, I think. Just out of curiosity. I think Matt Hancock's done it for me. Yeah. How's my prediction looking? This is what I'm thinking anyway. We may retest up here, but I think that's done its time. Okay, so that's see how that finishes, but so that is a lower high, but it could be a break out of this channel. So if I get stuck in here and then we have another little push down followed by a push up again, so that is the first break of the channel really. Now the way this channel's sort of thinned out, I'm not convinced we're going to get one, but I'm certainly not ready to short just yet. I'd rather it come down again first. Hurricane Ian. Gotta say, you guys get battered by these hurricanes, don't you? Well, I suppose this limited what you can do, really. Can't fight the weather, can you? Yeah, we're quite lucky over in a way. We don't really get nothing too dangerous. So even if that does end up bearish down here, something about it I don't like. Not when it's our sort of first. If it ends up a lower high, I still think it's a risky trade, I do, because I'm not convinced we're not going to retest this. Yeah, the winds and the storm surge quite damaging, absolutely, yeah. I suppose the trouble is, the more sort of storms and damage you have, I suppose the more expensive your insurance is, and in some cases I don't suppose people can. I know we do have floods and that over in the UK, you know, river floods, not so much, you know, the sea storms and that sort of stuff, sea surges, but I know I got a friend of mine who lives on the edge of the River Severn in the UK, and his insurance is just sky high. To the, you know, it gets to the price that it's just, you know, it's whether it even bothers to do it, because we do get notice, but nothing quite like you guys. Thanks for the chart. You're out now, are you? If your nerves are settled now, have yourself a shot of something strong. Your nerves are settled now. Gonna say, I used to work sort of more days, and I used to finish work in race home. Most insurance companies got bankrupt. Yeah, that's the trouble, isn't it? So you're stuck, really, aren't you? It's unfortunate, I've got to say. It must be awful to lose your home and all your contents. Must be terrifying at times. Yeah, I know we moan about the UK, but we don't know how lucky we are sometimes. Okay, that is a second entry long. We've had this push up. We could push back up again. Too risky for me. I'm not convinced we're coming down here now, but just the way that feathered off like that, I'm not shocked if we don't retest this. Usually when we get a break, then we retest, but taking it snow everywhere for you, Kim, is it? Everything's white at the moment. I've got to say, I do like snow at Christmas. Not great for the elderly, I suppose, but snow does look pretty, doesn't it, around Christmas? Something about Christmas and snow, it just tends to work, doesn't it? Let's have a look at this. Yeah, if this comes down again and comes back up, then I'm thinking about short then. That's what I thought it might do, up here and break. I don't think it'll retest. It's a little bit weak here, and so I'm thinking, but it is 2 legs down, so it's possible, but I think we're coming down here. That would be my bet. Apple Sam, is gas getting expensive in the UK? Is gas? Yeah, in fact, I'm not sure whether it's gas or electric, because they tend to lump them all into the same conversation. I think it's probably electric, which has got a little bit more, but yeah, I think it's probably a bit of both. But my bill's gone up about 40%. But fortunately in the UK at the moment, they're giving us a winter payment, which is about 65 quid off your bills, which is helping. But it's sort of young families and single parents that are going to get the hard side of it, really, and maybe some of the elderly as well. I know there's a lot of people sort of torn between feeding the kids and heating the house, so it shouldn't be like that, really. I think the government needs to do a little bit more. And then you've got people living in their £2-3 million houses. I don't begrudge them. If I could afford a £2-3 million house, I would. And if I can make that money, I absolutely would. So I don't begrudge them, but it's a shame when you've got, you know, people in a £2 million house living the life of luxury, and you've got single parents 2 miles down the road struggling to heat the house and feed the kids. So it's a shame. You had some snow here, but the problem with the snow in the city, that it just gets wet. And so, yeah, that's the thing. And it's nice when it lays, isn't it? But then when it starts to melt, you just get a big slushy, sloppy mess, don't you? And then when you're driving down the road, you've got your window wipers on, squirting your water every 5 seconds, haven't you? Trying to clear all. Your sister is in Richmond, Surrey, was complaining the other day about high utility bills. Yeah, Richmond, Surrey, I guess that's... Oh, so you're UK, yeah? Ah, you're UK. Whereabouts are you then? Where are you, bud? We're getting more and more. We've got about 3 or 4 UK guys here, people here at the moment. Where are you from, bud? Okay, so we've had this break. Try to go up once, try to go up again. This could be a failure. I like the way this channel's looking. Break, 2 pushes down. Last hurrah for a yes. Are we going to test the swap? Are we going to test the swap? What do you mean, bud? Oh, VWAP. I got it. Yeah. I am from India. Currently located in Toronto, Canada. Ah. So, yeah, okay. So, are you a cricket nut, are you? Yeah, I've got to say, I love the Indian people. Incredibly friendly. Love the food and their crackers about cricket, I've got to say. I do like watching India play. We're really passionate about cricket. Okay, so there is a potential failure here. And I think we're coming down. Am I a little bit nervous about it? I am. Because I think it may come down and retest this. It's funny. This channel and this top what's the word I'm looking for? Intersection, intercross, I can't. I don't know what I'm talking about. It crosses each other's paths, so I'm just a little bit nervous about going short here if this does develop. Something I don't quite like about it. I mean, there's always the possibility we had this break, 2 pushes down, and then retest up here. She may retest the highs here, which is why I'm a little bit unsure about a possible short here, and it's a little bit congested. And if we do go short here, there's not, you know, I think we're probably going to retest here, but there's not a massive amount of room, is there? So I like to have a possible place for it to go. Yeah, it does look like its EMA's flattened out. It could go up here and try and retest. That's all we can do, isn't it? Think about where things may go, and that'll give us an idea which direction to trade. Momentum is going up. It seems France and Morocco. What does that mean, mate? Momentum is gone. It seems France and Morocco predictions. France and Morocco. Oh, you're about the football. Sorry, mate. Sorry. I don't want to talk about France. We don't want to talk about France, do we? I hope France lose, actually, I've got to say. The few French people I know can be quite arrogant. I hope we haven't got any French people here with us. If I have, my apologies, but I think it's only natural we want France to lose, don't we? I think so. Good luck, Morocco. That's what I say. She's failed, I think. Sam, where are you, Sam? Whereabouts in the UK are you, bud? Just out of interest, I'd like to know where people are from. Because you may live 100 yards down the road from me. Waiting for the FOMC, yeah, it's slack a little bit, isn't it? Also, let me just get rid of these. also it's possible we could be doing something like this. Okay, there's a little bit of a... That's possible. You're in Florida, US. I thought you were UK. It's just the way you mentioned your sister was in Richmond in Surrey. So you're American, are you? Probably, yeah, you are probably, aren't you? You're Israel. Israel. I nearly went to Israel, actually. My stepfather was in the military. He was in the military in the UK. Did lots of different operations in different countries, and he spent a lot of time out in Israel. Married a woman in Israel, and he goes over now and again. And he took my mum, I think the year before last. He went over there for a couple of weeks. I nearly went to Israel. I lived in Cyprus years ago, and at the time I think there was issues with I think the trouble they were having with the Palestinians and that, and I think we're advised not to go, so we ended up going to Egypt. Yeah, you're American. Yeah, okay. Sisters in the UK. So yeah, it's on my list to go Israel. Beautiful country. But yeah, we very nearly went. I wish we had it done, but right. This big bearish bar here. I would say now, after that we are now likely to come in here where they finish there, nice and hugging the underside of it. That's usually where I see that drop off. So that's my prediction. There's no setup there, but if I was to bet money now, I would be saying now down we come. I'm forgetting now the retesting. So whether we turn into a little bit of sideways here before we come down, but I'm thinking more than likely down. That's my prediction. And if I look at the 10,000 tick chart, there's been this uptrend. That's telling me sort of the same thing. And the daily is we're right at the top here. I mean, we could go up another millimetre on here, and that could be quite a big move on here. But my thoughts are down now. I could be wrong. Be interesting to see where that fails, because there is a possible second entry short. It is a little congested. We have had a break, so it's possible we could have a new high. I'm thinking down, but the EMA's just gone a bit flat. If anything, pointing up a little bit, but there is a possible second entry short if it develops, but it's probably something I'm going to leave alone, I think. If we do retest, then I'll look for a short then. Okay, another new face. I'm terrible at names. Hafiz Ahmed, is that right? Hafiz Ahmed, new to your channel. Welcome. Where are you from, brother? I'm guessing somewhere around the Middle East, maybe. Okay, yeah, we have. It looks like we are going to retest. Yeah. What, you're around the Middle East, or I've got your name right? Oh, you're UK, yeah. Oh, excellent. Whereabouts? Whereabouts? London. Excellent. Another guy from the UK. Yeah, there's quite a bunch of us here now, actually. 1, 2, 3. A couple of guys from Scotland. Excellent. Is that a pronounce your name? Okay, Hafiz. Is that right? I hope I got it right. Hafiz, I think so. London. I haven't been down to London in a while. Too many people for me. It just gets busier and busier, isn't it? Shropshire, I'm from. About 50 miles west of Birmingham. Righty tighty. Let's have a look at this. There is a little short-term trend channel working up there, so we have hit a new high there, so we've broke this channel and it has it's run out, so it's done what it should do. So now I'm thinking back down towards this bottom, if not back into the range. It's finding something suitable to go short. Don't like taking that first one. Okay, so there's our break. I think we can safely say that. I hate the way it pops over itself. There's our break. Get back, get back. Stay. There's our break. I'd like a little drop lower than this one. That's that. Okay, so if we can maybe come down to here and have a lower high, then that would be maybe a suitable place to take a trade. How long we've been going for now? Hour and a quarter. Okay. I don't think this is going to go any higher. I think it's played out now. So I'm definitely thinking down. There you go, another push to 4085. Where's that up here? Let's put your prediction on here. 4085. Oh, that's quite a push, isn't it? That. Let's have a look. You think? I'm thinking down at the moment. Just the way we had this push up, and it's sort of jagged, isn't it? It's losing momentum. I'm thinking down at the moment, but you may be right. Stay. Actually, the way those bars are developing like that, telling we may. Let's have a look how they finish. I'm going to put that there. Let's have a look. Played out. The trend is basically 2 legs. Yeah. Okay. Well, if I put that there, we've had a push up. Sometimes when we push up, we do this little tiny bit of congestion sideways, then we get another push up, and your prediction, funnily enough, is almost exactly where that second leg finishes. In fact, can I let's have a look. Yeah, found that probably come down a little bit. Yeah, look at that. Isn't that weird? So let's see. It's just when they do that little small sideways pattern. It quite often does that. Some guys are stuck in a break new layer. I should move that short-term trend, yeah, which is what I've done. See what happens here. wish those things would stay there. Bugs the hell out of me, that does. Okay, so what I'm going to do is get rid of this. We know where it's going to come to, don't we? Because we've had, who was it gave us? Was it R, was it? Yeah. You give us, okay, so it's possible. Some guys are stuck. Break new low. You think here? See, that to me is more of a doji really, but it could be more bearish on someone else's chart. The trouble is with that, I think the general rules, if you follow what Max says, you've got to wait till it breaks a chart, because sometimes it'll do that and then just carry on in the same channel. So that at the moment to me is inside that channel, so really it's untradeable. This one obviously different story, but you see the way it's going sideways like that, that's telling me it may go up as a second leg. But you've got some traders in there. It's sort of an equal mix of buyers and sellers, isn't it? Are we going to push up? See, technically, we've finished this. We've had a break, two or three pushes down. We've pushed up. We have made a new high. But the way we've had that short push up there, followed by this little bit of sideways movement, tells me that it may shake out the early longs. Yeah. Put it this way, I think if it does, I mean, that's not very bearish on my chart, but it probably is on some charts. And as it's broken the top there quite lightly, if you look, actually, there's a second entry short, that is. So there's quite likely going to be some shorts in there, so their stops are going to be above here. So if that bar does, or whatever bar develops, does break above here, then we may get some momentum up here. So let's just mark that so we know. So if we get above here, I think it's likely then we're going to go a bit higher. Let's see. Okay, so that's cut their stops out. There's some in there, a little bit of movement. Right, okay. Now that's a break and a new high. I'm going to break a new high. I'm tempted to go long, to take a short here. I'm tempted to go short here. Let's have a look. So it finishes. Something I don't like. I think it may probably come down, and I prefer it to finish a little bit lower, and it probably is on some people's charts. Kind of like the way we've had a push up, we've had a break, and we've had a new high, followed by bearish. I think it's likely it's going to come down, but it's just something about it I don't like. Hasn't finished as low as I'd like. It's hard to say. If it does tick down here, I'd say there's going to be some people in that trade. I think it's likely going to trigger and come down, but I don't know. Something is giving me alarm bells. Breakout, pull back. Okay, it's triggered. See where it goes. I think I prefer it to push Okay, so that's positive. I'd say. There's a good chance now we're coming down. So, but I'd want a lower high or a high. I keep getting confused. I don't want to go high, lower high. We may not get it. We may just push right down. See, that one's played out. That one's played out. $3.25. Kim, probably best to wait for the Fed. Yeah, absolutely. Just a bit risky, isn't it? Yeah, especially with that. It's a bit congested for me. I just sort of get a feeling now I do in the way it was just doing that. And I'm not convinced we're not going to make a second leg. I think really when you get those feelings, and we all get them, I think if we see a really good perfect trade, you just get that thing inside which tells you why that you've got to get in on that. But then when you look at another trade and you get that, I think when you get that feeling, the sensible thing to do is just to stay out. And I think if you do that, I think you make a massive difference on your success rate. The only times I think I've gone on tilt in the past is when I've taken a trade because I'm impatient, when something in the back of my head is telling me I should leave it alone, and when I take that and it loses, I get frustrated and angry with myself, and that's what tends to turn me on tilt. If I take what I genuinely believe to be a good trade and it fails, I've got no problem with that, because I'll usually take a screenshot, put it on the Facebook group and ask someone more experienced than me. But usually when that happens, once you've had a bit of a look, then you can sort of tell. See what I mean? It's just stacking up, isn't it? So if I'm not sure, there's quite a few traders not sure. We're down, we're up, we're down. It's not clear, is it? Excuse me just a second. I'm just going to take a bathroom break. Okay, we're back. How are we doing? Okay, yeah, it's a bit congested, isn't it? Yeah, I'm guessing there's probably going to be some shorts in there. So if it breaks above here, I think it's likely we may make this second leg, which is up to here. We may not. Is anybody going to trade after the FOMC, are they? Or will they just... Will you pack in before then and that's it for the day, or will you wait till after? Because in the UK, really, I think the latest I've ever traded to is I tend to finish around about 8:30 my time. Yeah, if we can get above here. So the latest I've traded would be probably an hour and a half after the FOMC meets here. If we can get above here, which looks like we're going to make this second leg. Okay, there she goes. A little bit of push up there. Eating up some of them stops. I think it's fair to say we're probably going to make it now. No, I want to be done before too late in the evening. Yeah, I'm having a pick up trend right now. Right, you're doing something like this, are you? So look, you might. You've only just started, see, Keith, Kim. So you're still buzzing, aren't you, at the moment? You've got to get your bit in. Okay, so let's see if we get up here. So I mean, it does look like that trend wants to continue. So what we might find is overall a bigger uptrend of something like that. Possibly. Or let's see if we can get it from the tops, because that fits there lovely. Let's see where this comes to. Strangely sort of fits there, doesn't it? Let's get rid of that one a minute. I like the way it touches there and touches there, but there's nothing really there, is there? So let's get rid of that one. What are you doing? Messed it up now. Let's have a look. Maybe that's the trouble, is once you get so many on there, it just gets confusing. Let's remove a bit. Let's get rid of it. Okay, so there's a push leg up. The first leg up, second leg up. Okay, we're coming up to here, aren't we? Which we thought might happen. Okay, we've hit our target, haven't we, of that second leg. So, too risky. It's short in there anyway. Not saying it won't come down, but it's just risky. So, good afternoon, Ian. You're a new face. I've not seen you before. Where are you from, bud? Where are you from? Anywhere nice? Anywhere warm? Nice to have you here anyway. Nice to have some new faces. You've shorted it, have you? So I'm assuming it looks a bit... I mean, I suppose really it's in the bottom third, isn't it? Cold here, minus... Oh, you're in Zurich. Excellent. -7, that is a bit chilly, isn't it? I think it's about, what is it, about -1 here at the moment. Zurich. Lovely. Broke out the short term. Yeah, we have broken out of it, but what have you got so far? What are you taking? That'd just make me a little bit nervous, that would. What have you got so far? I take it you're still in it, but are you? We're at the moment. Okay, so you've got 2 points. That would have triggered you 2 points. So I think you may be alright. I think you may be alright. We've hit our target, haven't we? But in line with the range rules. Yeah. Looks like we could come down here, doesn't it? That might be it, or it may... See, when we do that, that short-term trend channel, often we break out and test the news. So, but we've... Let me have a look here. This could be the end of the leg up. I changed my chart around a minute ago, didn't I? Because that showed a break. And I think I've messed it up a bit. Oh, let me just get rid of that and start again. Okay. So... where do we go from? I think we went from down here, didn't we? Yeah. Did we? Was that somewhere right? I think it was, wasn't it? Or was it here? There was an entry and exit. Where was the entry and exit? I think that was like that. You got your points, bud. Well done. Right, I think that was it, wasn't it? Something like that. Let's have a look. Okay, so we can get rid of this now. Get rid of that. Get it nicely. Okay. Entry. Okay, so we've had those 2 legs up, and it's starting to look bearish now, isn't it? So let's see if we now finally get into this range. Yeah, I really sort of try not to pick tops now if I can help it. I know it had 2 legs up. The only thing that made me a little bit nervous about that is it was still within this. So it could tick below there and go a little bit higher. That's the thing that made me leave it alone, I think. And it wasn't as bearish on my chart. Although they do say that it should be in the bottom third, shouldn't they? Which it certainly was. Jacko, you got 2.5 points, did you? Good on you. The trade call penguin specialist. Actually, I like the penguins guy. I think he's a brilliant chart reader, I've got to say. I think he's a really good chart reader. He gives me the impression he's very experienced. And he's got balls of steel. I've got to say, he'll take it 2 for 1 sometimes when he'll sit there through 7 points of hell. And in some cases, you know, he'll wait. He'll take it. He'll hold it when it breaks up. It comes right back up near his stop, and then he was the one that moved me on from 2 points to 1 to 1. Watching him, so he's a very experienced trader. I watch his every day. He does them. I watch his trades. It's very good. I believe he does. Does he do a course or something? Doesn't he? Or do he does something? You've got 10 points. Have you really? Kind of jealous, mate. Where did you come out then? 10 points today. Got you. Good on you. So I'm just wondering now whether that has played out now, whether we're going to do something like that. Oh, forum. Yeah, he has a forum, doesn't he? Okay, I'm going to zoom in a bit here. So that's played out. We don't really need that, to be honest with you. So we've had that push up, break, another push up. So that push up, we've had a break and a new high. So technically that's played out. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to test twice. So we've had one push down. So let's do this. That's about there, isn't it? One push down. Let's see if we come up to the top of this channel. Then look, it'd be interesting there. So that you can join for $25. I'll have to look into it actually. I don't know what do you get for your money off. I think I went onto his website I think a while ago, but I thought I'd wait for a bit of feedback. But he's a very competent trader. I've seen him trade this with the bigger moves he gets more than any other trader I've seen trading this. And he's got balls of steel, I've got to say, I'll give him that. But he's a very competent trader. He's a brilliant market reader, I think. He's a brilliant chart reader. But I watch him every day. But yeah, as I say, I went from 1 point to 2 points about maybe 8-9 months ago. And then he was the one, watching him, that moved me on to 1 to 1. And the beauty of 1 to 1, you lose a trade, you win a trade, you're back to where you were. I mean, if people are still scalping a point, it must be heartbreaking to scalp 3 or 4 points. So you used to get 4 trades, you're up, what, 4 points? You get a 3.5 point bar, 3.5 point risk bar, tick above it, tick below, 4 points, plus commissions, you're in the red, and you can wipe out 4 trades with 1 loss if you're scalping. So, Wilson is a pattern trader. I'll tell you something about Wilson, shall I? I watched Wilson while he was doing a demo, and he was trading about 20 contracts, and he killed it. I thought, who is this guy? He's brilliant at it. I know it was on a demo, but he was just hitting massive amounts of money, even on a demo. I thought, this guy's going to make a ton of money. But I know he started doing some valuations and started to struggle a bit on the valuations, and it just goes to show you that... just goes to show once you have some sort of risk, it affects those emotions. So you could be you could do really well on the demo, and then when it comes to the evaluations. But I noticed he took a break, but he's been back lately. But I watch him as well. There are a few people I watch. I watch Max. I watch the Penguins guy. And I watch Top Pick Trading, the American guy, and Mark. I watch them too. So wherever I think they're good traders and I can take some value to it, I'll follow them. So we've had a bit of push up here. It'd be interesting to see if this ends up engulfing this bar. So we've had a push down, haven't we, and a retest of this top. So this top's definitely played a part of some sort, isn't it? So another trade, and Thomas Wade as well. I watch him. Thomas Wade, yeah, he's good. Thomas Wade, he's very good. I think Wilson's style is stressful. Yeah, he can take quite a lot. He tends to take more trades than some risky ones. But I've got to say, if you look back on his videos, maybe 7 or 8 months ago, on a demo, he was just killing it. He doesn't see the legs. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? But he's a nice chap. I've spoken to him. I've had sort of chats on YouTube with him, and he's a nice guy. He's, if I make a comment, he always asks me how my day went. So he's but the way I see it, we're all in the same big club. Okay, I'm tempted to take a short here. We're all in the same big club. Let's have a look. No, I'm going to take that away. It hasn't finished as bearish as I'd like. I think it's fair to say it may come down. If it triggers, comes back up to here, I may drop an order in there. Hasn't finished as bearish as I'd like. That's bullish, that's bullish. If that... Does look a bit congested, doesn't it, across there? See if it breaks below here. But I would think something like that. Pull back and the same again. Maybe run it down to here, but it's 14 ticks, that is, so 16 above there, so that's like 4 points. Let's get rid of that. So that would have been a lower high. I like the fact that it was an engulfing bar with it. If it had finished on its low, I thought that would be worth a trade, because I think, from what I can see, is we may do something like that. Let me have a look. Let me have a look. Okay, so we've had this push up. We've had this break. We've had 3 pushes up. We've made a clear new high. Bearish pushing right the way through the EMA, back up above it, down, back up above it again, followed by a big bearish bar. Not quite finishing on its highs. I think the only negative bit at the moment is the fact that the EMA is a little bit flat. He was looking to take it as well. Yeah, it's just wasn't quite. I dare say on some of your charts it might be a bit more bearish, but now this one's finished like this, it's getting a little bit congested there, which it did there. And if you'd have taken that short, depending on where you finish, you might have got stopped out. So that is, I was considering if it ticked below there and came back, take it up here, halfway in here, and then I've only got a small risk. But the way it's developing now, I did think push down, pull back, push down again. The way this is developing, I think I'm going to stay out of it. That's what I was thinking. It might work. See this here? We got a possible second. If this pushes up here and tests here, but it's just too congested for me. So far, whenever I think something's congested and stay out, I would say 50% of the time a trade triggers and stops out, and that just sort of bolsters that little information that you're working. You're working along the right lines. You're looking for a long, are you? So are you thinking something like? Let's have a look. I suppose that's possible, isn't it? Let's have a look at that. Just don't know why this big gap's here. I suppose it's possible we could be in something like this. Any chance you will stream via Discord to get rid of the YouTube streams? Maybe in the future, yeah, maybe after Christmas. I don't know. I know what Discord is, but I don't know too much about how it works. It's a piece of software that I've not had a lot to do with, so I found it hard enough to get to grips with YouTube, to be honest with you. But you know, if it makes things easier for people. But what I will do, and what I will tell you now, is I won't ever charge you for anything or any groups. I'm not interested in making money out of YouTube or people watching. I don't want the pressure to have to do it every day. I'm not interested. I want to make money out of trading. That's what I want to do. That's my dream. That's my career dream. So I'm not interested in charging people to do this. I have, as you notice, got a discount code. Purely and simply because if you take an evaluation using this code, it doesn't cost you any more money. So that I'm okay with. But I'm not interested in making money out of people via Discords or YouTubes or groups or anything like that. It doesn't interest me. And I've had loads of help. You're looking at this IFL second entry short. I looked at that. The only thing is it's a little bit above the EMA. The EMA is flat and that's congested for me. I've had lots of help from traders. Lots of help and support from traders, and none of them have charged me anything, so I'm not really interested in charging anybody else. I don't think we should. There's enough people charging money out there for other walks of life, so I'll never, and you can hold me against that, I'll never be interested in making money from Discords or monthly charges. It doesn't interest me. Too much pressure. Once you start charging people, you have to do it then, and then that's not what I want to. I think we may push down though. See, it's congested here, isn't it? I'm going to get rid of this for the minute. But yeah, I mean, if Discord makes things a bit smoother and easier and a bit more real time, then it's certainly something I might look into after Christmas. Okay, so that, if that goes higher, that's a failure. Now, I'm tempted to take that. In fact, I'm going to take that on a limit order. If it ticks above, because I like the look of that bar, trying to go once, trying to go twice. I think it might be a little bit risky, I don't know, but I'm going to try and see if I can get it about here somewhere. I don't want the rest really. And let's leave it there. Hard to read by now, it is a bit, but that to me does look like a little bit of an uptrend. Let's have a look. See what happens. If I can get on a limit order, then I'll take a little bit less of a risk. Okay, so I don't mind risking there. Okay, that's my normal. Does seem like we've got a bit of an uptrend here, so I think that's worth the risk. I like the look of that. I like the look at that. Let's have a look. Okay, that doesn't look too bad to me, that. I will give that one extra tick. We've had this new low, try to go low once, try to go twice, failed. Big bearish bar, right nicely off the EMA, exactly where I like it. Just wondering where this is likely to go. I might take it up a little bit and see if I can't ride it and get me stop it up tight. Jaco, you're in long, good on you, lad. Balls of steel. You're out, are you? So I took that on a limit order, so I don't like the way it is stalling a bit. Push up, go on, get up, get up, get up. Okay, that's a little bit better. Some resistance at 48350. Up here. I thought after that it might have gone a little bit higher. There's a little bit of resistance there, isn't there? There's a little bit of congestion. I think it's a good trade. I'm not a lover of the way that's happening, but I think we're okay. If we can get above here, in fact, I'm gonna leave my order there, because if we can get above here, I'm sure there'll be some shorts in there. So let's see. Higher there is. That's a point. So when their tick is, that'll be a point. Okay, so remove. Come on, baby, up you get. I think we can get up to here. I'm getting nervous. Okay. If we can get above that candle there, then I think we should hit my order pretty quick. Oh, wouldn't let me do that. Something I didn't like there. Okay. If we can get up. Keep pushing, come on. One more tick and we should hit my order, I think. Come on. think it's still worth holding on because I think we're still going to hit this. Apologise, I don't hear my dogs howling. If we can break above here, I think we'll just go quickly. Just depends whether I've got the balls to sitting there any longer. Let's have a look. Come on, baby. What do you get? They're trying to push it. I think it will. Okay, one more tick and I think we're golden. Okay, I'm getting a bit nervous now. Okay. What do we get out of that? About $300 odd. Okay. Let's have a look. I think if we get over here, I'll have a little push. Probably lost my bottle a bit there, the way it's stalling. $325, okay. That's better than a kick in the teeth. Why am I nervous when they're in the money? Well, what I'm seeing here is a bit of congestion, and I know congestion sometimes it can just drop and stop you. See what I mean? It's coming down there. That's making me a bit nervous. It's come up here and it's stopped. It's come up here. So 1, 2, 3. It's just making me nervous. So I wanted to just try and hold on to as much as. I mean, that got up to about another $100 above where I was now. See, one more tick above that. I'm sure there'll be some shorts in there, but I just don't like the way it's stalling. So I'd rather come out in the green. So it's just making me a bit nervous. I tend to stay away from these areas because they can really go either way. You know, we've got buyers, we've got sellers, we've got buyers, we've got sellers, and it just seems to be having an even balance whenever you get that sideways stuff, and it can really go anywhere. So we may come down and retest this before I go a bit lower, and I'm just not prepared to give up. Where did I go in here, didn't I? See what I mean? I think, where did I enter? I entered here a little bit earlier on the limit order, so at the moment it is there. That's where my entry was, so that's making me a bit nervous. Having said that, that's a second entry long, so there's a possibility that could bounce, but something's not right to me. So I just wanted to come out with some money in the bank. It's congested. You only saw the failure after the 2 mini legs up. Yeah, see, the trouble is it is a little bit choppy. It's quite hard to identify. But what I can see, regardless of what the tops are telling me, is it's touching, it's touching, it's touching. So it is respecting this area. And as I've told you before, I love to take these trades when the bottom section of the body is hugging that. And if you look there, we got that drop there. So we've got a strike to go low, one strike low, failure. Now, I'm guessing there's going to be a few shorts in there. Not as many as I thought. I thought that would pop up, but you know, we may get up here now. But so I think that was a good trade. And if you'd have taken that at the top, you'd have got what? It went up about. So you'd have got 3 points if you'd have had the nuts to stay in there to the top here. But I thought if it does break above there may be some shorts in it, which is why I put my profit mark 1 point above there, because usually if there is shorts it'll give it that quick spike and it will take the point, but it's just getting a little bit sideways here, so it can go either way, and I just don't want to, you know, what I tend to do is I tend to swing trade a lot of them because I've found it works for me. I tend to go minimum 1 to 1, but I do like to swing trade them if I think there's, you know, if there's room to move, in which case I'll follow it up with my stop. Yeah, but when it goes sideways, I think a sensible thing to do is to get out with some profit, because you just don't know, do you? It's a bit choppy. Let's get rid of that. I think that looks okay, but it, you know. What time are we? Oh, it's only just gone half full. We've only been going 2 hours. But if it does manage to get above here, I'd say there's going to be a few short, maybe not a lot, but we've had that big push up, break, and a few. I'd say that's 2 measured legs up to a new high. So, you know, there are people who try and swing these from tops to bottom. You know, you're only risking the small. Maybe we can get right down to here. So they'll bear with this, thinking maybe we're not going to break higher. So there's probably going to be some short orders there, which means their stops are going to be above that line. So if we can manage to break, we may get a quick spurt. We might reverse here. That last bar. Do you know the trouble is, what I found is the more times it hits one place, the more chance it has of breaking up. But when it does break up, it's quite dramatic and it comes back down. About a few months ago, I saw 10 of these bars in a row like that. 10 or 12 of them in a row, looking exactly the same. And all of a sudden, it shot out quickly and then came back down. So the more times it does try and get out, theoretically, the weaker it gets. But if it does break off, it'll hit stops and then it'll... Let's see what happens here now. So I could have rode that out, but as soon as it started doing this, I thought it's just not worth it. I'd rather get out with something than nothing. At least I got guaranteed $325. See what happens now. I predict we're going to get a little, just a quick short push. If it does break above that. Just keep in mind measured move is reached. But it doesn't mean we can go up. Yeah, it's okay, right. Thanks. Yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah, see, my nerves just can't take this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 5th touch in exactly the right place. It's an area of strong resistance. Absolutely, yeah. It just gets weaker and weaker, but people see that, and they put stops in from here maybe, or possibly here, and then when it does it, those stops, that gives it a quick bit of momentum. But because we're at the top, there's no follow through, and then it tends to come down there, and that's when you get them sort of reversals. Interesting to see what happens if it breaks above it, but I don't like being in trades for 10 minutes. My nerves can't take it. At least when you get out, you're guaranteed something, aren't you? As opposed to maybe. Okay, it's broke above it. I was expecting a bit more. It's a bit of an anticlimax, I've got to say. sometimes they might put. See, sometimes I'll put a couple of extra ticks. I will. I remember I heard Max say it once. Sometimes he'll give it an extra tick, and that's made a difference in some of my trades. It's ticked above it, as in to stop you out, and then it reverses. And so just now and again, if I get a feeling, I can't even describe why I put it in there, but sometimes I think I'll give it an extra tick, and it can make a difference. See, so I had my stop, didn't I? My order about 1 point above here, so it wouldn't have touched it like I expected. So I was quite glad I came out. I thought I came out around about the middle, didn't I? Green day is a green day. Thank you, Jacko. Glad you've got some faith in me. The longer you do this, you do notice patterns, don't you? Especially ones where you lose. See, it's still trying to push up. Oh, some. This is our prediction guide. Let's have a look. 4090. Let's have a look. I'm having faith in you, brother. Let's have a look. Your last one didn't work. Or did it? Did you predict? I can't remember now. Oh, that was the measured leg, wasn't it? So that's your mark there, isn't it? Yeah. Just in case we have any doubts where the responsibility lies. You made a boo-boo. You got trapped on short. The lower high after the range failed. Say that again. Made a boo-boo. Got trapped on shorting the lower high after the range failed breakout. Okay, so did you short one of these, bud? Did you? Or did you short that little one? Assuming one of these, didn't you? My last one would. Last one would. I think that was yours, wasn't it? Let's see if we get up there. Just follow that hard prediction. Oh, bad luck, Hafiz. I'm assuming it was one of these. You went, did you? So the first one. $4078. Let's have a look. 4078. This one. 4078. 4078. That one. Did you short? No, you couldn't have short. Oh, that one. Was that it? No. So did you go? Try to go once, try to go twice. Fairly. Did you take that one then, did you? I'm assuming by there, I can't see anywhere else where you'd have got in. Or maybe there. No, it's got to be around here, isn't it? Somewhere. That one or that one.